Hi everyone, my name is Julie, and today we're traveling to the cradle of humanity, where ancient civilizations rose and fell, to a country like no other. Salam, and welcome to the Amharic language. Amharic is spoken in Ethiopia, and this country definitely stands out from other African countries. It is the only country in Africa that wasn't colonized by Europeans. They are the only ones to use a native African script, and the appearance of Ethiopians themselves is very distinct as well. Let's start with some numbers though. Amharic is spoken as a first language by around 32 million speakers, mostly in Ethiopia. Even though it is not the largest language in the country, Oromo is spoken by around 37 million people. It is culturally the most dominant, and until 2020, it was the only official language of Ethiopia. But now it is joined by Oromo, Afar, Somali, and Tigrinya. So, how did Amharic become so important in this area? And why does the greeting Salam strangely remind Arabic? Yes, of course, Arabs live just nearby, but this resemblance is more than a product of influence. Amharic itself is a Semitic language, so it is not so distant cousin to Arabic or Hebrew. It is believed that the homeland of Semitic languages lies somewhere in the Middle East. Around 5000 BC, a part of these Semitic people migrated south and then crossed the narrow stretch of Red Sea around 2000 BC. There, these Semitic people intermixed with the local Cushitic people, whose descendants are the modern-day Somalis, Oromo, and others. Cushitic languages are actually distant relatives to the Semitic languages, both belonging to the Afro-Asiatic macrofamily that started breaking down around 10,000 BC. Anyways, Semitic people came and they brought with them a cool feature, a writing system. The oldest inscription in this script, called Ancient South Arabian, are from the 9th century BC. It was an abjad, meaning that there were letters only for consonants, and it was also written from right to left. In Southern Arabia, the script was replaced by the Arabic script, but in the Horn of Africa, it evolved into something very interesting, something that is called the Ge'ez script. Like Amharic, Ge'ez is an Ethio-Semitic language, but belonging to the northern branch of the family, while Amharic belongs to the southern branch. Ge'ez used to be the official language of the mighty kingdom of Aksum that ruled the area from the 1st to 9th century CE. It was so great that the Manichaean prophet Mani regarded Aksum as one of the 4 great powers of his time, alongside Rome, Persia, and China. Aksum was a strong trading empire, and their coins are found all the way from Rome to India. Plus, in the 4th century, Aksum became one of the first kingdoms to have adopted Christianity, and still today, the majority of Ethiopians adhere to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. So, what's with that script? Well, the Ge'ez script is derived from the ancient South Arabian script, but surprisingly, it was not written from right to left anymore, and at some point it became an abugida, meaning that they started indicating their vowels. Now, there are multiple reasons to why this could have happened. Some say it was the influence of Christian texts written in Greek. Some say that abugida system might have been inspired by Indian languages. As I said before, trading with India was a big thing then. And others speculate that it was an invention on their own. After the rise of Islam and the Caliphate, the kingdom of Aksum became cut off from the trade and came into decline, with the local elites moving to the south of the kingdom, where the Amharic-speaking population lived. Gradually, they switched to speaking Amharic too, and Ge'ez died off from everyday use, but it remained the main cultural and religious language. The most of literary works in Ethiopia were composed in Ge'ez up until the 20th century. In the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, Ge'ez remains the main liturgical language still today. By the end of the 19th century, the Ethiopian state has finally expanded to approximately its present size, and after the World War II, Amharic became its official language. And fun fact, Amharic is the holy language of the Rastafari religion, as Amharic was the language of the Ethiopian king Haile Selassie, who was born under the name Rastafari and who is worshipped by the Rastafarians. Apparently, Amharic reggae is a big thing. And how do they sing in Amharic? As we saw, Amharic uses the Ge'ez script to write its language. This alphabet is called Fidel, which means letter, and has 33 letters, all of which are consonants. These consonants can then be complemented by diacritics to get 7 possible vowel sounds: a, u, I, a, e, o. A letter without a diacritic by default is pronounced with the vowel a. But what if you want just the consonant without the vowel sound? Well, for that you write the u version of the consonant. For example, this word would read as nebr and not neburu. How do you know where should you say the u vowel and where not? Well, you just know it. Another thing that is pronounced but not written are double consonants. For example, this word can be pronounced both as ale, meaning be said, and alle, meaning there is. How do you know the correct pronunciation? Well, again, you should just know it. Among the consonants, several letters stand for the same pronunciation. For example, the h sound has 4 letters. That is because in the Gez language, these letters used to represent different sounds, but in modern Amharic, these sounds don't exist anymore, so they are pronounced the same. In most of the cases, actually, these repetitive letters are interchangeable and don't alter the meaning. Amharic has a very rich palette of consonant sounds. Especially interesting are those ejective consonants. There are 5 of them, and these consonants are pronounced with the glottis closure, like in a word Erika. And by the way, this word features my favorite letter of the Amharic alphabet, Che, that looks like a 3-legged person having a walk. I am a big fan of the Gez script. It looks so mysterious, plus they even have special punctuation signs like this word separator as a semicolon or 4 points instead of a simple point. So this is how you manipulate the Amharic script. Now let's hear how you manipulate the Amharic sounds by the native speakers, of course.
በሀገሪቱ በተደጋጋሚ እየተፈጸመ ያለው ሰብአዊነት የጎደለው አሰቃቂ ጭፍጨፋ ከፖለቲካዊ ችግርነት ባለፈ ኢትዮጵያንና የማህበረሰባዊ መሰረት የሆኑ እሴቶችን መሸርሸሩን ያሳያል ሲሉ የወሎ ዩኒቨርሲቲ መምህር ተናገሩ።
ግን ራሴን ለሴት አልለይም፣ ያው ሰው ለሆነ ሁሉ አገልጋይ ነኝ። ግን ደግሞ ሴት ስለሆንኩኝ ምናልባት አሁን ደግሞ ባለፉት አመታት እንደ ሚስት እንደ እናት በተጓዝኩት ጉዞዎች ውስጥ I think ሴትነትን በተሻለ አውቀዋለሁ።
To be honest, for me it really doesn't sound like any other language. But what do you think? Please write in the comments what language does it sound like to you. And now we're gonna see how the language is structured. I wish I could say that the grammar of Amharic is easy, but I won't. It's an SOV language. It has 2 genders, masculine and feminine, but most of the nouns are actually masculine, and the feminine nouns are mainly the words that are female themselves. There's only the definite article, which is added to the end of a word. And you'll see Amharic just loves adding stuff to their words. Like in Kabetu, from the house, where from is a prefix. And if the noun goes with an adjective, Katinishu bet, from the small house. You can see that the adjective takes both the prefix and the definite marker. But well, as in any Semitic language, the main difficulty with the grammar is the verb. In Amharic, a verb is defined by a set of root consonants. The vowel sounds are going to change, and their change is going to define the verb form, as well as different added prefixes and suffixes, of course. The verb form will change depending on person, number, gender, perfect or imperfect aspect, one of the 4 moods, active or passive voice, negation. Yeah, even negation is a verb form. And there are at least 10 different classes of verbs, so 10 different patterns of conjugation. But let's just stop with the verb for a moment before our brains explode. And just look here at the pronouns. It seems that there are much more of them than anyone could even imagine. That is because Amharic differentiates between a masculine, feminine, and formal singular you, but not only that. It also differentiates between a casual and formal third-person singular. So 10 personal pronouns, and unlike English, they all influence verb conjugation. So I can only wish you good luck with learning Amharic grammar. Now let's switch to a less stressful subject. Before anything, Amharic is a Semitic language, and it is easily proved by observing common cognates among the basic vocabulary of several Semitic languages. However, Amharic also stands out from its Semitic cousins as it has a huge Cushitic influence. What is really proper to Amharic is its numbers and how they write them. The gate script they use also comes with numerals. And look how interesting! Instead of writing 10 as a combination of numbers 1 and 0, and there is actually even no symbol for 0, they have a 1 separate symbol for 10, and the same goes for 20, 30, and all the 10s, and 100, and even 10,000. So 1,000 would actually be a combination of 10 and 100, and a million would be a combination of 100 and 10,000. So yeah, it will take a bit of time and mathematical capacities to convert our numbers into the Amharic script. But well, nowadays Ethiopians would actually use more often the worldly widespread Arabic numerals. So I guess it became a little bit easier for the learners of the language, but it's still cool to know about that old numeric system. And it is definitely cool to learn about languages. So subscribe for more. Big thanks to you, my patrons, especially the top tiers who picked this language and are going to pick the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.